Roxo Media House.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. I'm your host, J.W. Wilson. Coach, we're fresh off 34-27 victory over Stanford Cardinal, the Stanford Cardinal. Congratulations, first off. I know it wasn't a perfect performance, but you got the win nonetheless, and here we are, week 2.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good to get a win, as you said. I mean, we had plenty of opportunities in that game to pull away from them. We'd kind of doubled up the yardage that they had when they got the ball back to start the last drive. I think we had double the yards they did. But we made some, critical mistakes. Fumbled inside the 10-yard line, going in right before the half. You had some penalties on third down that kept some drives alive. Twice we could have got off the field, and we had a penalty, and they ended up scoring on those drives. So, lots of critical mistakes, but at the same time, was proud of our guys. We were down with 5 minutes to go in the game and really closed the game out well. I love the stops we got defensively. I love the 2 touchdowns that we were able to score to pull away. And we made a play on the onside kick that was a great play by Chase Curtis. So a lot of positives to take away from it, but also a lot of things that we can improve on.
I love how you always compliment the other team after a game. I think that's really, really cool and respectful of you. You mentioned they had a new scheme, a new defense they rolled out, so you really were ill-prepared for what they threw at you and obviously made it work.
Yeah, we did. I mean, they did a nice job of building on the scheme that they ran last year, and really different look and really kind of different defensive structure than they had played. And it took us a while to kind of get settled in. Once our guys settled in, I thought we made some good adjustments and did some good things. And, you go back and you look at that game, I thought the third quarter was really important because we were not really executing our best on offense, but we held them to 1 first down in the third quarter. And that, to me, is when the tide started to turn a little bit. And, we were able to get those stops on defense and make some plays on offense. And as I said, kind of get on track.
Right. The mistakes you mentioned, all things that are correctable, obviously. These are, penalties and things of that nature. That's just a normal course of the season. I think you deal with stuff like that. Obviously, you got it out of your system, hopefully, work on that. The new schemes and things that you implemented with Coach Avalos, the defense looked really good overall. I thought that's in the second point of that, the second half of the game, you guys came out like a different team.
Yeah. I thought we just got settled in a little bit better. Had a little bit more of an idea of how they were going to try to attack us. And I think our players started to play with more confidence as the game went on. Was glad to see us play a very aggressive style of defense and attack. We created a lot of negative plays, which is good. I think 4 sacks was a big part of the game, getting those guys in some third and long situations. Now, again, we helped them out sometimes by some penalties, and some of them I didn't necessarily agree with, but some of them, that we got to improve on, and we just got to make sure those things don't happen. And you give a good football team opportunities, they're going to find a way to beat you. And as I said, we were fortunate enough to make plays down the stretch and be able to go on the road and win in a game that we didn't play, particularly great.
Sure. And Josh Hoover looked polished. He looked mature. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He looked comfortable in the pocket when he ran and he threw. He seemed like a newfound guy.
Yeah. It was good to see Josh. You could tell that there's obviously some improvement from last season to this season. I think that he's really starting to be able to trust the receiving core. I think moving Jack Besh outside I thought was a big move for us. Gave Josh a lot of confidence in him. He's in the right place at the right time. Made a lot of plays on the football. Did some good things after the catch. We were really trying to get Savion involved in the game early. I think he caught 5 passes maybe on the first drive and really did some good things. We dropped a couple of balls. He dropped 2. JP dropped 1 that probably would have been a touchdown. And so we just got to make sure we get those things fixed moving forward. But, I thought all 3 of those guys played well. I thought Jack played well, JP played well, and Savion made plays. And, it was good to see Cam Cook run the football like he did. As the game went on, he got more comfortable and he's a guy that we think has a chance to be a really good player. And so it was good to see him, grow and mature during the ball game.
You mentioned 3 or 4 of the main highlighted guys, Besh and Savion and JP and Cam. All those guys had really good games. We missed a couple of faces we were expecting, but can you speak to injuries at all?
Yeah, we had a couple of guys get banged up. I mean, Haas Haney came in and was kind of going to do some fun change of pace things for us at the quarterback spot. He went down with kind of a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Was disappointed to see that. Major Everhart had a little bit of an abdominal strain that's probably going to be out for a number of weeks as well. So, those 2 guys you hate to lose, but, we're also going to get some guys back. Dalen Wright didn't play much last week. He's coming off of a hamstring. JoJo Earl didn't play. He's coming off of a hamstring. So both those guys should be back and being able to, to participate this week and hopefully help us.
Sure. And one thing we've learned about you over the years is you're a next play kind of guy, and that seemed to be very, very present in this game. Whether it was a mistake or whatever happened, the team always seems like this team looks like they're looking for the next play. I think that's a really cool philosophy. Is that something you guys preach?
Yeah, I think, I think what I like about this team was, I do believe we have a true sense of confidence. And I think it comes from preparation and hard work. And every team is different, but, you look up in that game with all the mistakes we made, and all of a sudden we're down in the fourth quarter. Our guys never panicked, never blinked. They trusted their preparation, their work, and went down and put together a really nice scoring drive, and then got a stop on defense, and then scored another drive. And so we're able to create that separation that we should have been able to create earlier. But, it was good to see that. I think this is a resilient team. I think it's a mature team. The leadership on this team is really strong. And typically when you have those things with the number of playmakers we have and the schemes that we're running, I think we're optimistic about how we're capable of playing. We certainly didn't play to that capability on Friday night, but we're hoping to this week.
Understood. He certainly showed the ability to move the football and score and stop people at different times. So that's very, 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 very exciting for us. Any comments on the radio headset or the iPad you guys used for the first time?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I mean, I think the helmet communication was good. I thought everything went smooth. We've been actually practicing that since the spring. Just trying to learn how much communication is good, and sometimes you don't want your quarterback to become a robot. You want him to be able to play free and to be able to use his instincts. And I think Kendall did a really nice job of communicating with Josh, but not over communicating. And those are all things that we're still figuring out. And I think the same thing with the iPads. I think it's a very valuable tool. I think it allows us all to get a look of actually what's happening, because sometimes you would talk to a player and you would say, okay, what happened? And the feedback you got from them wasn't necessarily what happened. And now, you can see it and you can correct guys and you can say, okay, this is what happened. This guy came from here and you got to be prepared for this. And so I do think that it's a very valuable tool and something that we're going to utilize.
Well, congratulations, 34-27 road win over Stanford Cardinals. We'll be right back with State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
We're lucky to have a collective that's as strong and as powerful as the Flying T Club. It's a big deal for us. It is a game changer. I would just encourage any fans out there to support it. Everyone asks me, what's the biggest priority? And I say, NIL is big. Please jump on board, show these student athletes how much they mean to you. The thing about NIL is I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it, and the Flying T Club's do it the right way. Let's keep winning. Join the Flying T Club today.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. And now it's time for our question of the week from our student with Mallory James Mahoney.
Thanks, JW. Welcome to week 2, guys. Congrats, Coach Dykes, on the Stanford win. I am here with the question of the week with Julia. She is a movement science major on the pre-PT track. She is a junior from Frisco, Texas.
Hey, Coach Dykes. We're in the middle of Labor Day weekend, and I'm just wondering what's your favorite holiday and why?
Hey, Julia, thanks for the question. I've always liked Christmas. In our line of work, sometimes you work on Christmas Day and you don't really even realize it's Christmas. And so you got to have a great wife that'll help with all the things that you have to do with your kids. And unfortunately, we have Kate, but yeah, it's always been a big holiday for me. I remember it as a kid, and it's been really special through the years to share that holiday with our kids. And it's been fun because we've done it in a lot of different locations through the years. And very seldom have we been home for Christmas, and so it's always an adventure, and we're usually in a hotel somewhere getting ready for a bowl game. So it makes it very interesting, but I would say definitely Christmas. And again, the big part of the reason is because of kids.
Thank you, Mallory James Mahoney, and thank you, Julia, for the question. We'll be right back with State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Coach, it's game 2 of the season. The Long Island University Sharks out of Brooklyn, New York. Tell us what you can.
Yeah, you know what? Good football team. Had a really similar game to what we played last week. I mean, they played a good Albany team that were their conference champs in their league last year, a team that's a perennial playoff team. Really dominated the game, ended up losing on the scoreboard, but really physically dominated, pretty much doubled them up in terms of yardage. Really ran the football well, had a running back that ran for 128 yards, was impressed with the way the quarterback played. Running back's big, physical, finished runs well. This is a football team that's built on both lines of scrimmage. Really impressed with a couple of the offensive linemen that they've got. But the guys that really, when you turn the film on, stand out are the 2 defensive linemen. I mean, they've got a really good group of D linemen. They got a big linebacker that plays in the middle, that runs sideline to sideline, makes a lot of plays, and then really long, athletic guys on the back end. So, a really good football team. Ron Cooper, their head coach, has been everywhere in the country. His former head coach at Louisville has been very successful. Was on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama most recently. He knows football. I'm impressed with their team last year. It was his second year last year. They ended the season on a 3-game winning streak and kind of picked up where they left off this year. And so, they're a team that I think is probably going to compete for their conference championship. They look like they've got that kind of group and a really good football team and a team that we're going to have to play very well against.
Knowing you the way that we do, I know you're not overlooking anybody. You wouldn't ever even admit that or do that. But how do you keep these guys focused? Because we all know this FCS team coming in, obviously not on a lot of people's radar, but one step at a time, right?
Yeah. I think the good thing about this team is that when you turn the film on, you can see that they've got good players. I think that's the biggest thing. And the one thing we talk about, it doesn't really matter who you play. It's always about you're competing against yourself to play at a standard. And we had the same conversation going into the Stanford game is, look, it's really about us. It's about us going out and performing as well as we can. It's about us putting the work in through the week, practice, all the preparation that goes into it, all the little things that make a difference, all the extra film, the meetings, the walkthroughs, everything that you can do to get yourself ready to play so you can go out and play your very best on Saturday night. And this is a mature team. I don't think that we're concerned about who we play. I don't think this team's going to be concerned about who we play really at any point this year. I think we realize that if we go out and we play at a high level, we're going to have a chance to beat anybody that we play.
It seems the 100-degree days are behind us now, unfortunately for Long Island University, but their weather patterns up there are a little different from ours. So coming down to this Texas heat's got to be something to them, right?
Yeah, I think so. I would imagine the heat will be a little bit different. I don't know what it's going to be like on Saturday night for sure. Probably won't be too hot, but yeah, especially with the amount of rain we're going to get this week, I would imagine there's going to be some humidity on Saturday. So should be an interesting ball game for sure.
Sounds like we got a good crowd coming to the stadium, to the Amon Carter, and we're excited about this week, Coach. Congrats on last week, and we look forward to this week as well. So
yeah, we do too. Excited to get home and play in front of our students and fans and alumni, and it's always great to play at the Carter on a Saturday night. So it should be a great atmosphere, and I know our guys will be excited and looking forward to playing and going out and competing.
There you go, Coach. There you have it, folks. State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
Let's go. Gotta go. Can't win them all without winning the first one, baby. Want to know, better than last start. Here we go, baby. Can't win them all without winning that first one. Can't win them all without winning that first one.
Roxo Media House.